I don't know about you, but I'm definitely feeling overwhelmed right now with all the information that is available about the coronavirus. And I was very reluctant to add to the chatter, but the more that I thought about it, I feel that it would be almost irresponsible for me not to talk to you about how important sleep is for our immune system. So, research shows that if we don't get enough sleep, we're more likely to get sick if we're exposed to a virus, and it also slows down the recovery process. Have you ever noticed when you're sick, you just crave sleep? That's because while we are sleeping, our immune system releases proteins called cytokines, T cells, and white blood cells, all of which help to fight infection and inflammation and keep us healthy. Now, there is a ton of research out there to support this, but today I just want to summarize 3 studies that I found particularly fascinating so that you can get a really good understanding as to why it is so important to sleep in order to have a functioning and healthy immune system. And if you don't mind, I am going to refer to my cheat sheet just to make sure that I do not incorrectly cite any of these studies. So the first was in identical twins. And what they did is they looked at 11 pairs of identical twins with different sleep patterns. And what they found is the twin with shorter sleep duration had a depressed immune system. It was more depressed when compared to their twin that had a more healthy sleep pattern and was able to obtain adequate sleep on a regular basis. There's another study, and this was a large study. It was in 153 healthy women and men ages 21 to 55. And what they did is they looked at sleep duration and quality. And they found that those who slept less than 7 hours a night, they were 3 times more likely to develop a cold than those who slept more than 8 hours. Another study was involving the efficacy of vaccines, and they wanted to see if sleep duration impacted the effectiveness of a vaccine. And what they found is that it did. So this study involved 125 people, both men and women, ages 40 to 60. They were all non-smokers and in pretty good health and lived in Pennsylvania. And what they found is that the people who slept fewer than 6 hours a night, that they were less likely to mount an antibody response after they were given the hepatitis B vaccine. And they also found that these individuals were far more likely, 11.5 times more likely to be unprotected by the vaccine than those who slept more than 7 hours a night on average, which is what's recommended for adults. So you're probably asking yourself right now, am I getting enough sleep and are my family members getting enough sleep? So the best thing to do is head to the National Sleep Foundation's website, and they provide sleep duration recommendations per age group right on their site. But today I'm just going to give you an example of a few. So if you are an adult, and that's anything between 26 to 64 years of age, you should be getting between 7 to 9 hours of sleep per night. Now for babies, they should be getting between 12 to 15. So those are babies 4 to 11 months old. Our toddlers, ages 1 to 2, they should be getting 11 to 14 hours. Preschoolers, those are kiddos 3 to 5 years of age, should be getting 10 to 13 hours. And then school-age kids should be getting 9 to 11. So those are kids who are between 6 and 13. Now for the babies and toddlers, those sleep durations do include naps. Now, I want to make sure that we're all able to obtain and maintain enough sleep during this pandemic so that we can stay healthy. I know that our schedules are off, our routines are off, and the most important thing is to maintain consistency when it comes to sleep. So I am going to give you 3 tips that will work regardless of age to help maintain your sleep. So the first is to make sure that you're waking up and going to bed within a 30-minute range. This is really important because there's 2 main hormones that influence our sleep and circadian rhythm. Those hormones are melatonin and cortisol, and they run on a 24-hour clock. So we want to make sure that we're taking advantage of the natural dips and peaks of these hormones in order to get enough sleep. So I know that it's tempting now that, school's closed, we're working from home to, sleep in, go to bed late, and you'd want to try to avoid that as much as possible so that our body clocks remain optimal. So the second tip is to meditate before bedtime. I think all of us feel a lot of stress, even our kids, and meditation has been proven to reduce stress. And when we're stressed, our body's producing cortisol, the alert hormone that could interfere with our sleep cycle. So I would practice a meditation during bedtime. It's really easy to do. You could do it on your own. All you need to do is go to a quiet room and do some deep breathing for, a good 5 minutes. If you want a little bit more guidance, there are a ton of great apps out there. I love the Calm app and also Relax Melodies. And they have guided meditations that are designed specifically for sleep. And they also have meditations for kids. So my kids meditate every single night, and it's something that they definitely look forward to. And I can tell it reduces their anxiety before bedtime. Now, my third tip is what was my third tip? My third tip is to avoid screen time 1 to 2 hours before bedtime. And I know I talk about this a lot, but now with the 24-hour coverage of the epidemic, I think that we're all glued to the TV. And also with our kids not going to school, it's very tempting to put them in front of the TV more than we typically do. And that's okay. I get it. I'm probably going to do it myself. But we just want to make sure that we're limiting screen time before bed. So what my recommendation is to avoid screens at least an hour, if not 2 hours before bedtime. And the reason why is that the screens produce blue and green light. Now that is the same light from the sun that sends a signal to our brain to produce cortisol and suppress melatonin. And that's the last thing that we want to do before bedtime. We want to make sure that our melatonin levels are high and our cortisol levels are low. The goal of this video is not to spread fear. I just want you to feel more empowered during these uncertain times. And we all have control over how much sleep we obtain. So I hope that these tips are going to help you to maintain adequate sleep so you can stay healthy. If either yourself or a family member is struggling to get enough sleep, head to my website, Kelly Murray Sleep. I have a ton of different programs to support you. And if you're interested, you can schedule a free 15-minute discovery call right on my website. So thanks everyone for watching, and I hope everyone has the sweetest of dreams.